Hello and welcome to Relyence training on using the Relyence FMEA SmartSuggest Highlight Warnings feature. Note that this video is the second in a two-part series on Relyence FMEA SmartSuggest. It demonstrates how to use the Highlight Warnings feature. If you need further details regarding how to use the Show Suggestions feature of SmartSuggest, review the Using Relyence FMEA SmartSuggest video first. Relyence FMEA SmartSuggest helps to ensure that your FMEA data remains synchronized throughout your analysis tree hierarchy. From the SmartSuggest panel, you can see recommended data suggestions, then choose those that are most appropriate for your analysis. In addition to suggestions for failure modes and effects from higher-level cause and failure mode data, SmartSuggest can also highlight warnings, which identify cases where FMEA data is not in sync across analysis tree levels in the FMEA worksheet. Data may become inconsistent across worksheets if the analysis tree hierarchy is modified, as well as if identified next higher level functions are changed. Here in the drone example, where we've applied the AIAG and VDA FMEA template, one of the motherboard failure modes is linked to a cause at the quadcopter drone level, and then one of the effects for the GPS is linked back to the mode at the motherboard level. Any organizational change to the analysis tree could impact the integrity of the FMEA worksheet data. To make sure your data remains consistent with your system hierarchy, turn on the FMEA SmartSuggest Highlight Warnings option. Then, for example, if the analysis tree structure changes as the design is finalized, for example, consider if the GPS becomes a sibling to the motherboard instead of a child, you are then warned accordingly on the FMEA worksheets with the out-of-sync fields highlighted in red. By hovering over any highlighted cell, you can see the reason for the discrepancy. This information can be useful to help resolve any data inconsistency. A second example whereby you may find data inconsistencies on the FMEA worksheet is in the case where the identified next higher level functions are modified once mode or effect data is linked. For example, let's add another mode to the ground controller based on data from the quadcopter drone. Then let's assume I realize that I need to modify my next higher level function and requirement, such that provides for mounting camera on drone is not applicable. Note how the previously inserted and linked failure mode is now highlighted in red, and the warning confirms it is because hard landing is not associated with one of the selected next higher level functions. We can see that the cause in question is associated with a function and requirement not applicable for the ground controller. So finally, what should you do when such data inconsistencies are identified? You may, for example, revisit the data and reconnect to another suggested value, or you may opt to disconnect from the linked record and then modify the value as needed, or you could certainly delete the record and then revisit the FMEA by entering alternate data either via SmartSuggest or manually. So if you are using Relyence FMEA SmartSuggest to keep your DFMEA data consistent and integrated across analysis tree levels, and you'd like to be warned in any cases where your FMEA data is out of sync across levels, take advantage of the SmartSuggest Highlight Warnings feature. This concludes this Using Relyence FMEA SmartSuggest Highlight Warnings tutorial. Thanks for watching. Please visit our website or contact us with questions or to obtain pricing and purchasing information.